Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are honored to sit down with the incredible Tammy Thangam Pather as she shares the deeply personal story behind her debut memoir, Saiorse, a raw, honest journey through heartbreak, healing, and the power of choosing freedom. If you've ever faced pain, loss, or had to find your way back to yourself, this conversation will speak straight to your soul. Let's dive into Tammy's inspiring story. How are you?
I'm great, Siddharth. How are you doing?
I'm great. So I'm just okay. Now I can ask you my opening question to you now is what inspired you to write Saiorse and why did you choose this title to represent your journey?
So the reason behind Saiorse is to educate other people, not only females but males as well, that there is life after divorce. And yes, everybody does go through this. It is part of life. And coming from a Hindu background, divorce is taboo. You know, there's so
Hmm.
many people that I have made contact with that are staying in unhappy marriages just because of customary
Hmm.
or traditions that they
Hmm.
follow or listening to their parents. And so many people actually don't get out alive. So my reason for writing Saiorse was to educate people that yes, there is life after divorce.
Yeah, you told me it was off air. This is an Irish name, isn't it?
Yes, so Saiorse, that's how it's spelled. I don't know if you can see it very well, but yeah.
Yeah.
Saiorse is an Irish name that came to me in a dream from one of my avatars, and
Wow.
the initial book, the name was Married and Alone, and it had my face on it with a teardrop. And I think when I was around about the fourth chapter of the book, I had this dream, and my guru came to me in the dream and said, didn't say anything, but he put his hand over, and as he moved his hand, I could see the name appear. And this was at 2 o'clock in the morning, and my
Wow.
eyes were blurry. I couldn't read or anything. So I made a voice note on my phone. And as soon as I got up in the morning, I researched about the name. And strange enough, I found that it means freedom in Irish. And I thought, how
Wow.
apt, because the book is my freedom of being trapped in a marriage to a narcissistic sociopath and breaking free after many years.
In what ways did writing this memoir help you process your own heartbreak and healing?
So how it all started is during the journey, I couldn't really, as I told you, going divorce is taboo, so going to the family
Hmm.
was a definite no. So I put my thoughts and my ideas and my feelings, everything, my gut wrenching feelings into
Mhm.
writing, and I put down whatever I needed to put down. And eventually I had like notes and pages of notes. And I thought, why not put this into a book and educate other people? So it was a very cathartic experience of actually journaling and putting down all my ideas and so forth. And then I started a lot of researching as well. And I put some of the research into the book on divorce and what happens in Hindu rituals, etc. So that's how that came about.
You speak about choosing freedom. What did that choice look like for you and how did it change your life?
So for me, choosing freedom meant I had a choice of murder. Yes,
Wow.
murder. I was Googling how to murder. It was murder.
What
It
about that?
was suicide. Yes, as much as I'm a
Huh.
strong person, but it came down to murder, suicide, or divorce. And
Hmm.
I thought about it and I thought murder, then my I'll be in jail. Firstly, orange didn't suit me behind with those orange coveralls. I didn't want that, and I thought, imagine having that. having my children actually grow up with something like that. And I thought that's a definite no. Then I thought about suicide, and I thought leaving my kids behind with a narcissist, that would be so wrong of me. So my choice of divorce was my ticket to freedom. And I made a conscious decision with myself that you're making this decision, you need to stick with it. Yes, as much as it pained me, as much as it was tears galore, I stuck with my decision and went through with it. And it was my ticket to freedom.
Okay, I have a comment here from the section. Are you okay if I ask it to you?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. This is from Resh Chitan. Hi, Tammy. You are beautiful, strong, and a happy soul. Thank you for your enlightenment. My advice is your advice to women or men who suffer similar fate.
I would say you need to assess the situation properly. And think about, we so often as women, we forget ourselves. We forget who we are. So take an account of your life. It's not a simple decision. It's not something that I made overnight. I married for better or for worse. And my decision was to help my spouse as much as possible. But it got to a stage where I started questioning myself. I started doubting myself. And then when fingers were pointing at me saying, you at fault, you not doing your best, I took a stance of my own, trying to see where did I falter. I went for counseling. And at the time I was working in a corporate, and they offered a system called ICAS where they offer you counseling. And I took up those sessions, and I went to the counselors, and they said, I never found a more together person than yourself. Then I realized that, hang on, it's not you. There's so much more. So you need to take an assessment of where you are, where you want to be. And for me, finances was a major driving factor as to how was I going to cope. My children were in private schools. I had a good house. I had a good car. How was I going to cope? And eventually it got to a point, as I said, where it was murder, divorce, or suicide. And I thought, no, I'm making this decision. I can. So I sort of scaled down a bit to manage my expenses, and I made this decision to leave. But when you make that decision, you close that door, you close that chapter, and you move on with your head held high. I hope I've answered the question.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think my next question might be similar, so do forgive me. What message do you hope women, especially those navigating divorce or heartbreak, take away from your story?
I would say that don't blame yourself and don't point fingers. Remember, one finger points forward, there's three fingers pointing back. So don't put blame on anybody. Find out how you can heal. And if you read my book, you'll find that women going through something like this, they do mind-numbing, psychotic things like slashing tires, or I know there was one woman that had a massive pickaxe in the husband's windscreen.
Wow.
Women do weird things, but rather look inside. Delve into meditation, delve into spiritual studies. When I say spiritual, I mean spiritual and not religious. I'm not religious in any way. When I went into spirituality, I looked at meditation, I looked at chanting mantras. And trust me, when you're going through something like that, when you're going through emotional trauma, it is most difficult to meditate. So there's lots of meditation apps that you can download. You can go onto YouTube and download stuff. Go through guided meditation. And every time, and it is very difficult to meditate when you're going through something like this. So every time your mind wanders, bring it back. And it's a training of the mind. It's a training of yourself. The other thing that I also did was I went to gym. I gymmed for 4 hours a day 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening. And what I was advised by my personal trainer, he said, print out a A4 page of your ex, pin it onto the punching bag and punch the shit out of it. Sorry for my French, but at the end of the session, there was like a whole lot of confetti on the floor. And he says, boy, did he deserve that. So these kind of things, they actually help you to release that frustration, to release those, that adrenaline. And it gives you so much more comfort, so much more ease. And as I mentioned previously, I did a lot of research as well before I actually wrote the book. And you would think that, like Angelina Jolie and all these celebrities, they have such beautiful lives. Hell no, they don't. They actually go through things like this. And one of the things that Angelina Jolie does for like stress relief or to get out that adrenaline is she does scream therapy, where you fill a dish with water and you scream into it. That's also relieving. So if you can't go to the gym, a lot of people said, no, it's cold, I can't go to the gym, or I can't walk. There's so many other ways that you can release tension. Yoga, even if you have like a small space, you can do a bit of yoga. There's so many other ways that you can release that adrenaline, release or actually come back to yourself, basically.
Were there any parts of your journey that were especially difficult to write about? How did you move through them?
So, yes, there was lots of it. It took me 7 years to actually complete the book. So there was lots of times where I would sit down to write or to enhance certain chapters, and I would just break down. So at that point, I would think, hang on, Tams, you haven't healed. So I wrote, the initial book was around about 400 pages, and my chief that actually endorsed the book, Seelan Tartea, he endorsed the book. He actually said to me when he read the book, he said, Tams, think about your kids. I've got 2 sons. Think about your kids reading the book in 10 years' time. Are they going to say, oh, my mother's been through such a tough journey and, they can relate to me? Or they're going to say, what the hell was my mother thinking of to put all this into a book? It's like airing out your dirty laundry. And so there was a lot that I cut out from the book, thinking about my sons, thinking about what would, I really don't believe, I don't listen to what people say about me. I honestly feel what people say and think about me is none of my business. That's the rule. But I had to worry about my sons saying, what was my mother thinking about? So there's a lot that I took out from the book. And I sort of had a filtered down version. And I also, throughout the book, I don't ever mention the ex's name, exposing him in any way, because he is still the father of my children. And something that I have developed from that writing experience, when you say, it was like a gut-wrenching experience, I started giving gratitude. And every time I gave gratitude, I found the more I was grateful for something, the more I had to be grateful for. So I would, if I had not gone through that, I don't think I would have been an author. I don't think I would have written the book. So it's not only, like yes, it is life-changing experiences that make you go through becoming an author, becoming a motivational speaker, but it's also, do you want to tell your story? Do you want to educate others? So I'm proud to say that my book has actually reached 4 continents.
Wow.
And at the back of the book, I also put down my my email address for people to respond to me, to give them my feedback. And my email address is there as well. So I've had people from around the world, from Mexico, from Canada, from Trinidad and Tobago, that actually messaged me, that read the book and said, wow, this is such a story. They would think that they didn't think that people living in South Africa would actually go through something like this, but it's throughout the world. There's no picking, choosing, and refusing. No matter what creed, what culture you are, everybody goes through something like this.
Okay, before I get to my final question, there's also another comment here. Let me just open it up for you. Uh, if I'm Jetan again, the book on digital. I'm sure she's asking, can you get the book on digital, I guess?
Yes. So I'm not sure where you are, Rish, but in South Africa, it's on Made in Durban. .co.za. You can get the e-copy and you can get the hard copy, and it's on Amazon as well, both the e-copy and the hard copy. I have not put it onto audio as yet. I am still busy with a publisher on that.
Okay. All right. I'll get to the final question, which is, now that Saiorse is out in the world, how has the response been? Have readers reached out with their own healing stories?
Yes, definitely. As I mentioned, it's reached a few continents. A lot of people have come through to me. I was actually surprised when I actually went through the divorce itself, where family members, extended family members, came through to me and said, "Wow, I can't believe that you've actually done this. I've been going through something similar." So a lot of people, even in my work environment, has actually come forward and said, "You're so strong. You've done this. Kudos to you." It's not about being strong. It's for me, it's sticking to your decision that you made. And if I, at the back of the book here, if I can read this, it says here, Tammy is big on affirmations and says that if you're looking for that one person to change your life, look in the mirror. And that is so true. If you want, it all starts here and it stops here. It's what you allow in your life and who you allow in your life. There's so often people come to me after the book was released and said, I'm going through the same thing, an abusive relationship after abusive relationship. So I would say I do a lot of reading. And one of the things that I live by is the 7 Laws by Deepak Chopra. And one of the things he mentions is transmute and transcend. You go through a bad situation. What do you do with it? Do you sit and you wallow in that? Do you seek pity? I've seen so many, especially with females, with Indian females, that they don't worry about themselves. They just let themselves go. I've seen some women that don't even put a brush through their hair. They look like dog's breakfast. Mind me for saying that, but that's the brutal truth. And They don't worry about themselves. I say, pick yourself up, dust yourself up, put those heels on, put on that lipstick, and go out there, live life. I also thought, as I said, I went through, I took the pills. I'm not proud of it. I took the pills and I had this charcoal gunk flush through my system. And then I thought to myself, why end your life? In a year, in 3 months, you're just going to be a distant memory. Yes, people would think of you on your death anniversary, on your birthday, and then you're a distant memory. Rather, tell my story, educate people out there, live your life, be that empowering self, be it male or female. Stand up and show that you can make a difference, no matter how difficult. And the old saying of "this too shall pass" is very true. And going back to, I'm mentioning this over and again, that a lot of people in South Africa, of Indian descent think, they don't want to bring shame to their families. I say BS, absolute BS. Worry about your own BS. I'm saying BS as in your belief system. What do you have in here? What do you have in here? Yes. So trust your own belief system and go out there, make a name for yourself, no matter how difficult it is. And you will notice one of my favorite sayings as well, especially to the females: put on your big girl panties and deal with it. This too shall pass. And for the guys, put on your big boy pants and get through with it.
Okay. Well, I gotta say that thanks so much for your time. And look forward to the next novel you write.
Yes, absolutely. It's on the way. My second book is actually called Daisy Bell, which is a tribute to my mom, and it's got recipes. We'll chat about that some other time.
Sure.
And but the third book is more little raunchy, I should say. It's very playful. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. It's quite. I'm actually enjoying. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm enjoying writing it. And that is my journey in Saudi, and how I go there to go as a teacher, as an English teacher, and fall in love with one of my students. So it's on the same lines as like what do you call it, 50 Shades of Grey. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. But Siddharth, if any of the listeners, any of the readers want copies of the book of Saiorse, please share the Amazon link and the Made in Durban link. If they want, please share my details. They can most generously reach out to me. I'm open to chatting. I do a lot of counseling. I've actually done, after the book was released, I went and did an official course to do coaching, life coaching, because I didn't want somebody to say, who the hell are you to be telling my spouse what to do, etc. So I am a life coach as well. If people want to reach out to me, they're most welcome to do that.
I have put your Amazon link on YouTube already on the description. The Made in Durban link, was that the one you WhatsApped me yesterday?
I'm not sure, but I will just check what I've sent. I've got the two links. So the Made in Durban is the local link, and the Amazon link is the international link. So if anybody wants to get the book internationally, can do that.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much for your time.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the platform to air this. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Welcome.